Hello everyone and welcome to Food Feeds. So in today's session we are going to see about food preservation. So we are going to solve some of the important MCQs under this topic. So let's directly get into the questions. So the first part of food preservation which we are going to see is heat. Okay. So the first question. The pasteurization of the carbonated juices need only be conducted at such temperature and a time that dash destroyed. So basically they are asking pasteurized carbonated juice has to be conducted in such temperature and time to destroy what of these two components. Okay, so we have yeast, mold, bacteria and virus. So let's solve this question. So first of all, what are the two important things we need to be take care of for the pasteurized carbonated juice? So the answer is obviously it is yeast and mold. These are the important two components we need to be taken care of pasteurized carbonated juice. So let's talk about that. I'll write it as PCJ. Okay, yeast and mold. We cannot simply destroy yeast and mold, so we need a proper pasteurization temperature, right? To destroy the yeast we need a temperature of 60 to 65 degrees Celsius. Okay, for the mold is actually heat resistant. We all know that, right? It is actually heat resistant, so we need 80 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes. Guys, but listen to the question. The question is actually carbonated. See, mold is also requires O2 to survive, right? To survive. So if we can cut down the O2, then we can pasteurization at less temperature. So this value 80 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes is to kill the mold for still, not for carbonation. But for carbonation along with 65 degrees Celsius will kill the molds. Okay, so that's the question. The important components we need to look for is yeast and mold. Is actually A and B, yeast and mold. But let's come back to the question. So what if instead of pasteurized carbonated juice they give something like highly acidic juice? Okay, so some kind of in case of lime juice they can give this kind of topic, highly acidic juice. In that case, what are the things we need to be taken care of? We need to be taken care of both bacteria, yeast and mold. All these three will be killed at 60 to 65 degrees Celsius because of the acidic content. Okay, so this is how the question can be manipulated, and the answer is 60 to 65 degrees Celsius. And here is 60 to 65 degrees Celsius for yeast, and for mold it is 80 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes. Since we are doing carbonation, it is actually 65 degrees Celsius. This temperature is it's not that important because like still you need to know for all the other sort of examinations. Okay, let's move on to the next question. And yeah, so these are the different types of different types of food products, and what is the basic pasteurization temperature and its time for each food product. For fruit juice, just now we have discussed 65, 77 and 88 is there. Okay, for 30 minutes, 1 minute and 15 seconds. And in case of B, it is 65 to 68 for 20 minutes and 70 to 75 for 1 to 4 minutes. And milk 63 for 30 and then 71.5 for 15. And liquid egg, it is 64.4 for 2.5 and 60 for 3.5. And finally for ice cream, which is really important. This question is important. For ice cream, it is 65 for 30 and 71 for 10 and 80 for 15. So remember these things, okay? So which is kind of similar to the previous one, but still you need to know this point correctly. 71 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes and 80 degrees Celsius for 15 seconds and 65 for 30. This question has been asked in many examinations, So you need to remember this I square. Okay, so next question. Which of the microorganisms is eliminated in canned foods? So they gave A, B, C, D, 4 options, right? See, basically Mycobacterium tuberculosis and Coxella burnetii. These two are related to pasteurization. So we cannot take that as an indication for canned foods, right? Which is canning. So you can clearly eliminate those two options, A and B. Okay, then C and D. D, obviously it is not a basic standardization to eliminate in a canned food. So the answer is Clostridium botulinum. Okay, so first of all, what is a canning? Canning is a heat treatment, right? So it's a thermal operation, we can say. It's a thermal operation. Okay, so basically it is above 100 degrees Celsius. But in most cases it is 115 to 130 degrees Celsius. Okay, so this specific 100 degrees Celsius or 115 to 130 degrees Celsius should be sufficient enough to destroy, to reduce into 12 log reduction. 12 log reduction, which is called as a 12D concept. I'll explain this concept later into the question. So why this 12D concept is famously mentioned here is, see, 12 log reduction of Clostridium botulinum is required to maintain the minimum standard of canned food. Okay, so obviously the answer is Clostridium botulinum, and the reduction is 12D reduction, 12 log reduction. Okay, and see, this Clostridium botulinum is a spore producing organism and it is anaerobic. So keep these two things in the mind. Okay, so let's get into the third question. So the answer is C. So next question, which is the most common food preservation method? So they gave 4 options: freezing, fermentation, heating and freeze drying. So immediately we can eliminate 2 processes, which is freeze drying and freezing, which is not the common method. So the 2 options are fermentation and heating. Fermentation is a very ancient old method, but when the term comes to common, it is not that common. So the most common method for food preservation is heating. But I'll also explain this food preservation into 3 different let's say category. So food preservation. Okay, so if we simply divide this food preservation into 3 categories, one is inhibition. Here we will inhibit the bacteria to enter. So the second one is inactivation. So here we will completely inactivate or destroy a bacteria. And the third one is avoid recontamination. So basically it's a packaging techniques and cap kind of techniques. Avoid recontamination. So most of the heat involved things will come under the inactivation. For example, sterilization, and then pasteurization, and then blanching, okay, and then canning, okay, etc. So all this heat involved method will be used for food preservation under the inactivation. So the most common method is inactivation method, which is done by heat of any of these methods like sterilization, pasteurization, blanching and canning, etc. So next question. Psychrophilic microorganisms grow over the temperature range of dash, and we have 4 options: -23 degrees Celsius to 29, and then sub-0 to 20, 0 and less than 20. Sorry, greater than 20. Okay, first of all, many people have this kind of doubt that what is a psychrophilic, what is a philic, what is the difference between philic and phobic and tropic. So let's clear this doubt. Okay, so first of all, let's divide the whole bacteria, okay, into philic. So based on the philic, we are going to divide it. Philic means nothing but it is called as love. Okay, so the bacteria will love which kind of temperature? That is the question. So let's divide this bacteria into 3. So the first one is called thermophilic, which means it will like the heat, or it will love the heat. Okay, thermophilic. Or also thermoduric will come under this thing, thermophilic and thermoduric. And the next one is mesophilic. Okay, mesophilic. And the last one is psychrophilic and psychotrophic, which means it likes the really low temperature. Okay, so this is how we have to divide into these 3. So let's discuss each and every single phyllis and what is the optimum and growth temperature. So I am rubbing this part, so pause the video and write this down. So the first one we are going to see is psychrophilic. See, psychrophilic, the optimum temperature for psychrophilic is 15 degrees Celsius. Okay, and growth can occur from the range of less than 0 to 20 degrees Celsius. Less than 0 means sub-zero, which means less than 0 obviously. So sub-zero means less than 0. In certain books it's mentioned -5, but it can go below that, so I'm not mentioning any specific temperature. So basically we can say it is a sub-zero. You cannot say specific value, but it's sub-zero, less than 0, okay, to 20 degrees Celsius. So here is an important part. For psychrophilic, we can kill this bacteria at room temperature. At room temperature. So where this bacteria will be found? It found in glaciers. Okay, so now let's come to the next one, psychotrophic. Psychotrophic, the optimum temperature is 20 to 40 degrees Celsius. 20 to 40. But here the optimum is only 20 to 40, but the growth can occur at 0 to 40 degrees Celsius. Okay, and one more thing, here it will not be dyed at room temperature. Obviously it is not dying, which is optimum, right? So it will not be dyed at room temperature, unlike the previous psychrophilic. So where can we find this? In refrigerated milk. In refrigerated milk and foods. So we can find the psychotrophic. Okay. So we have discussed psychrophilic and psychotrophic. So now I'm moving to the next topic. So the next one is mesophilic. So the mesophilic optimum temperature is 37 degrees Celsius, which is really important. So note it down, it is 37. And the growth can occur at 20 to 45 degrees Celsius. Okay. And most of the mesophilic are pathogenic. So that's why we cannot keep it in room temperature, because this most of the mesophilic organisms are pathogenic. Okay. So next is thermophilic. Thermophilic. See, in thermophilic, the optimum temperature is 50 degrees Celsius. Okay. And the growth can occur in 45 to 122 degrees Celsius. Okay. See, here is an important part. So in certain cases, the optimum temperature can be 80 to 1110. Okay. For that specific kind of thermophile, we will call it hyperthermophile. hyperthermophilic for that specific kind of thermophile, which can optimum temperature is 80 to 110. Okay, see, this hyperthermophile is a part of extremophile, which is also a kind of division. So like let me name some of the extremophile, which is extreme temperature is one of the extremophile which we have discussed, and the salinity is one of the extremophile, and then acidity is an extremophile. So based on the extremophile, this hyperthermophile is also a part of extremophile. Okay, and finally thermoduric. See, thermoduric means it can able to withstand the heat, but it cannot able to grow. So let me tell this optimum temperature. First of all, optimum temperature is 50 to 55, but growth will occur in 20 to 65. So why this thermoduric is really important means, see, most of the some thermoduric can survive pasteurization temperature, which is a major threat, right? See, it will survive the pasteurization temperature, which doesn't mean it will grow. It cannot grow, but it can able to survive the temperature. It will not be killed, but it can survive. So that is thermoduric. So that is all the philic and duric you need to know. Okay, so that's it. Let's move on to the next question. What is made by churning pasteurized cream? Okay, so we have four options. Milk, which is not an answer, so we can definitely cut it out. Ice cream, yogurt and butter. Obviously, churning is used for butter. So the answer is D. See, there are many important terms and methods and process which is involved in making butter. So let me try to explain that in a much simpler way possible. Okay, so for making butter, we need what? First of all, we need milk, right? We need milk. So we need to using the milk, we have to make a cream separation. First we will separate the fat from it, so cream separation. So once you have separated the cream, what you have to do is you have to do neutralization. So this is the first important method you need to do, neutralization. So what is the neutralization? See, basically what happens is, after cream separation, most of the cream turns sour, so it will be a sour cream. Okay, so the acidity level will be increased. If you didn't do neutralization, then you can experience excessive fat loss during pasteurization. During pasteurization, you can experience excessive fat loss. What is the reason? The reason is simple, because of the high acid present in it. High acid. Okay, because of the high acid present in it, we cannot use this. We cannot use the sour cream. So we need to neutralize the sour cream. Okay, so basically we need to get it into specific value, which is 0. I'll write it here. So we need to maintain this value 0.14 to 16% of acidic. Okay. So what we'll use for neutralization? We can use either soda or lime. Okay. So the next step of the neutralization is standardization. So you have already studied what is a standardized milk. So standardization is nothing but adjusting the fat to desired level. Okay. So we need to adjust the fat. To let's say desired level. So first of all, what is that level? We need to know that it is 33 to 40% of fat. So what if you didn't meet this specific standardization, then you can get some off flavor with it. Okay, so how to adjust it, what we'll be using, you can use two things. Either you can use skim milk or you can use buttermilk. So this is the next step after the neutralization. So once you have standardized it, then the next step is pasteurization. Obviously, yes, we need to do pasteurization before churning. So that's the question also. What is made by churning pasteurized cream? So we need to make the cream first and we need to pasteurize the cream. Okay, so we need to pasteurize the cream and we have to do it we can do it in a two way. See, there are two types of cream. One cream is a sweet cream, okay, and another one is a ripened cream. Okay, so in case of sweet cream, sweet means there is no need of ripening, which is fermentation. If it is a sweet cream, then it is 85 degrees Celsius for 15 seconds. Okay, if it is ripened, then it is 90 to 95 degrees Celsius for 15 seconds. Or you can, there is one more thing also, like 105 to 110 for no holding time. Okay, so both of these examples are HTST. So just for your remembrance, so it is HTST. So we need to do pasteurization. So yes, now the milk is pasteurized, then what is the next step? Obviously, if it is a sweet, then you can left it here itself, but we need to make a ripened cream. In case of to make the butter, we need a ripened cream, right? So after ripening, like we need to do the ripening, which is fermentation. This fermentation. So what is the role of ripening in a cream, specifically for this butter? See, the ripening will increase two things. It will increase diacetyl. Okay, it will increase the diacetyl and it will also increase the acetoin and diacetyl. Along with it, we also have a lactic acid increase. So the major role is diacetyl. So the increase of fermentation is basically for the increase of diacetyl. So how much of diacetyl we need to get the full flavor? We need 0.7 to 1.5 ppm. Okay, to get the full flavor. Okay, so to ripen, obviously we need some kind of starter culture or some agent, right? So for that, there is many agents. Others like Lactococcus lactis is there. Okay, but the most famous one is Streptococcus lactis subspecies is diacetyl lactis. Okay, Streptococcus lactis subspecies is diacetyl lactis. Okay, so these are some of the major starter culture which we used to make the ripening. Okay, now it is ripened. It has increased diacetyl and lactic acid. Now what? Now it comes the final method, which is churning. Churning is nothing but a increased agitation. So we are incorporating air into the cream. That's the churning. So what happens in the churning is an important question. In churning, what happens? It will convert the cream to butter. So the cream to butter is a conversion of oil in water to water in oil. So basically, due to the agitation, you can convert oil in water to water in oil. Okay, this distribution of acetyl and acetoin will happen eventually in the churning. See, how this will happen, how the cream will turn into butter. The cream will turn into butter, I'll rub this. The cream will turn into butter by using one simple method, which is, first we will remove the buttermilk by agitation. We will remove the buttermilk and plus we will knead the butter. These two will give the good structure and texture of the butter. So These all are the important steps involving in making of the process better. So the answer is D. Okay. So the next question. Temperature affects water activity due to the changes in what? So this is one of the important question because it's asked in the JEE examination. Dissociation of water, solubility of solutes in water, state of matrix, and all of the above. See, I know most of the people will go for all of the above because that is one of the easiest answer, but many people has confusion of what is water activity and what affect means what will happen. So let me explain this water activity concept in a much simpler way possible. Okay, so see, first of all, water. So what is water activity? What is a water activity, which will be denoting as AWO, which is nothing but which is a measurement of availability of water for biological reactions. See, we are going to measure the available water for biological reactions, which is not a total water. Okay, it's water activity doesn't mean the total amount of water. It's not a total water, which is the amount of water available for biological reactions. Okay, for example, if I have a available free water, okay, if I have a available free water, which is a water, okay, which is free, then it will it can able to give that free water into any organisms, and it will make a biological reaction. It will make a biological reaction. Because of the biological reaction, okay, we can determine that this free water can increase the ability of microorganisms to grow. So basically, free water means approval of biological reaction. Approval of biological reactions means microorganisms can grow. So if water is available, then microorganisms of ability of microorganisms can grow is available only if it is a free water. See, if it is bound by something, for example, if it is bound with salt, then that free water is now occupied with salt. So this free water will not be used for the biological reaction. So that's why the free water concept is important. Whether it is free or not, we need to decide it. So checking that, it's pretty tough. That's why we come up with another method. Okay, so water activity, how do we calculate it actually? So to calculate the water activity, we need P divided by P0. So till then, obviously everyone can understand what is the water activity, right? Measurement of available free water for biological reaction. But when it comes to the formula, most of the people were confused. So let me try to explain this concept in a simpler way. So first of all, water activity. So it is divided by P divided by PW, P0, sorry. So water activity, which is a ratio of vapor pressure in food. Vapor pressure in food. So we'll denote that as a P divided by vapor pressure of pure water. Okay, obviously you have many questions to ask. First of all, the first question, what it predicts actually. So what it implies actually. So first of all, it predicts two things. It predicts that this vapor pressure of food in water, it predicts that whether this water in the food, which is likely to move from food product to cells of the microorganisms. So whether this water is moving from food to microorganisms or not. If we check that whether it is moving or not, then we can detect the water activity. So how we can check? We can check by checking the vapor pressure of the food. Okay, simply if I put it simply, then more pressure, more like vapor pressure in food, which means it can easily move to low pressure microorganisms, right? See, the high pressure food, like the high vapor pressure from the food can easily move to the lower vapor pressure microorganisms. So the moisture will be easily moved. We don't need that because it will allow the like water to be used, so the microorganisms can grow. So that's what we are like easily comparing here. See, but this vapor pressure of food is now clear. But why we are comparing this with the vapor pressure of pure water? Why are we comparing with pure water? So the reason is, this pure water will always have a vapor pressure. Pure water vapor pressure will be always higher than the food. So if we can compare with the pure water vapor pressure, then we can find out that how much in the food has been changed. Okay, so for example, let's say we have a water activity of 0.90, which is the like minimum requirement for any bacteria to enter into food. Okay, so 0.90 means what happens is, the vapor pressure is 90% of pure water. So comparing to the pure water, this vapor pressure is 90%. Okay, so almost it can like it has the same amount as a pure water. Okay, so that means if it the more the vapor pressure, then the more amount of bacteria can grow. Okay, so that's why we need a less vapor pressure in the food in order to achieve the maximum of stability in food or shelf life in food. So here the question is, they have asked, the temperature affect the water activity. So let's talk about that first of all. So how the temperature will affect? So if I write temperature, so the first point is dissociation, right? Dissociation of water. So how the dissociation of water will do? Based on the process drying. Obviously, if we do drying, then the water activity will reduce. So the dissociation of water will obviously affect based on the temperature. Then solubility. See, solubility of solutes in water. So that is the second point. Solubility of solute in water. Okay, see, simple. If the temperature is increased, then what happens? Solubility will increase, right? Solubility will increase. If the solubility will increase, then water activity will decrease because it will bind more. Okay, so the binding will involve. And the third point is temperature increase. Increase in temperature causes drying, but decrease in the temperature causes freeze drying, which means we will convert that specific water into ice and we will remove during the freezing. Okay, so state dissociation of water, solubility of solute, state of matrix, which is solid or liquid or gas, and all those involved, the temperature will affect it and it will affect the water activity. So D, all of the above is the answer. Okay, next question. Which of the following is a target microbe in the commercial sterility? Okay, so the concept of commercial sterility, which means that see, first of all, before telling the commercial sterility, what is a sterility? Sterility means complete destruction of microorganisms. Complete destruction of microorganisms is a sterility. Then here comes the next question. What is a commercial sterility? See, commercial sterility means we are adopting two principles. Okay, first principle is a safe product. to achieve a safe product. Second principle is to maintain a stable product. So I'll explain this. See, safe products means, as I told you, we are following 12D concept. So if we reduce the microorganisms in a 12 log cycle manner, then the products will be safe to consume. But what is a stable product? Stable product means the product which not lose its nutrients, its major nutrients. Okay, so commercial sterility means considering these two options, which means we cannot overcook it. We need to cook it at a specific perfect temperature so that it will be safe and it will also be stable. So for that, what is the target microorganisms? So here the answer is Clostridium. Clostridium thermosacchariticum is the target microorganisms in order to achieve both 12D concept, both safe product and a stable product. So the answer is D. So next question. So this is the last question. So the food which are heated below the boiling point of water, for its aspirin T and MRB. So food which is heated below the boiling point of water for a definite period of process is known as what? So they have given 4 options: pasteurization, chilling, cooling, dehydration. So basically what they are trying to ask is, pasteurization is done below, it's a mild heat treatment, so it actually comes below the heat treatment, but all the other options is also below the boiling point of water. So it can be both A, B, C, D also. Okay, but it mentioned heated, so it can be either considered as A or D rather than B or C, because dehydration might happen at 60 to 70 degrees Celsius also. So, and that is also, it is a definite period. No, dehydration, it may be definite period also. So the possible answer is A and D, but in what they are trying to ask is for the pasteurization. So let me explain a complete detail about pasteurization. Okay, so to complete this video, we are completing with the pasteurization. I'll explain a detailed manner of how the pasteurization works. First of all, what is the definition of pasteurization? So the definition is simple. It's a heat treatment. Okay, it's a heat treatment, but it is a mild heat treatment. It's a mild heat treatment to inactivate enzyme. To inactivate enzyme and to destroy disease producing bacteria. Okay, so there are 2 roles for pasteurization. First is to inactivate the enzyme, and second one is to destroy the disease producing bacteria, and followed by the chilling, okay, at 4 degrees Celsius. This is for prevention, further prevention of microorganisms to enter. So this is the complete idea about pasteurization. But this heat treatment, mild heat treatment, is the another name of pasteurization. Mild heat treatment. Okay, so which means it is usually below 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, now here comes the next question. What is the purpose of pasteurization? What's the purpose? See, the purpose is pretty simple. Purpose of pasteurization, it's actually increasing shelf life, but it will be increasing shelf life only at a lower temperature. After pasteurization, you have to keep it at a lower temperature, 4 degrees Celsius. If you didn't keep it, then it will not increase the shelf life. So if you keep it in lower temperature like 4 degrees Celsius, then it will increase the shelf life for several days. Okay, in case of milk, and for several months in case of bottled fruit juice. Bottled fruit juice. So the purpose is simple, to increase the shelf life, but it has one more purpose. It will also free from any microorganisms. Which can cause deterioration or sometimes even endanger the customer, endanger the health of the customer or consumer. Okay, so that's the major purpose. And see, in case of endangering of health and deterioration, see, it is divided into two important methods. One is low acid, which means pH greater than 4.5, and high and medium acid, which means pH less than 4.5. See, in case of low acid, our primary target is pathogenic bacteria. Okay, pathogenic bacteria is our primary target. But in high and medium acid, this pathogenic bacteria has already been, let's say, prevented. So we have to set a new target, and the target is spoilage microorganisms. Spoilage microorganisms along with enzyme inactivation. Okay, enzyme inactivation and spoilage microorganisms is a target for high and medium acids. Okay, so these are the two important targets. Now let's discuss the next important topic, which is the types of pasteurization. Okay, so basically we can divide this into 4 types. The first is in-package type. In-package means gradual increase in temperature. So we will do the pasteurization in a gradual change in temperature inside the package. So after we packed, we will increase the temperature gradually. So that is a in-package pasteurization. And the next one is obviously prior to packaging. Before packaging, we are going to do the pasteurization. So prior to packaging. So here we are not going to give so much of heat. So this is just a preheating. So why we are doing the prior to package pasteurization? Because it's useful for the heat sensitive food. Heat sensitive foods. And the third one is LTST. See, LTST can be done through 2 methods. One is held in a tank. So we will pour the milk in a tank and we will heat it for 62.8 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes. Then we will shift it to the chiller. And the next one is steam jacket kettle. It will be a kettle. So once it heated for 62.8 for 30 minutes, then it will be further transferred. So these are the 2 methods for LTST. And the final one is HTST. Okay, so there are 3 methods to do this. One is the famous method, plate heat exchanger. Plate heat exchanger, I am telling you so that I just write it on a short word. Next is tubular heat exchanger. Okay, and the third one is scrapped surface heat exchanger. And obviously you know the temperature, it is 71.7 degrees Celsius or 72 for 15 seconds. Okay, so these are the types of pasteurization. Now one more important thing is there, which is testing of pasteurization. Okay, testing of pasteurization. See, in pasteurization we will test 2 things. One is enzyme, which is called as enzyme testing, and usually which can happen in less than 3 minutes, which means it is one of the fastest testing. And the second one is bacterial testing. bacterial testing. See, in case of the enzyme testing, we will be checking the ALP, which is alkaline phosphatase. Okay, so why this is considered as a standard for pasteurization means this is causing one of the important thing, because this will cause intra abdominal bacterial infection. Also, if this enzyme is inactivated, then almost all other enzymes are almost all other similar enzymes are inactivated too. So that's why this is considered as a base. For bacterial testing, we have Mycobacterium tuberculosis, and Coxella burnetii. See, these two are considered. See, for Mycobacterium tuberculosis, obviously the disease which will be producing is tuberculosis. But in case of Coxella burnetii, it will cause Q fever. Q fever is actually a zoonotic disease. What is a zoonotic disease means? Which is, it will only affect the animals. Okay, it will not affect humans, but which is also an important thing, because the destruction of Coxella burnetii ensures that the major disease causing bacteria and microorganisms from milk is destroyed. So these are the testing of bacteria. So we have discussed some of the important things in the bacteria, and the question is actually heated below the boiling point of water at a definite period, so which is actually pasteurization, right? Okay, so that's it. We have completed the first part of the pasteurization. So first part of the preservation. So stay tuned for the next few videos. So we will quickly complete this chapter for junior food analyst, and if we have time, then we will possibly try to make a mock for the junior food analyst. So let's see, and make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel of Food Feeds, and make sure to check out the Telegram channel and Instagram channel. Thank you.